Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 7, which consists of Nikma Nurin Namirah, Nisfatun Mufidah, Nur Arifatul Jannah, and Nuriana Wanti. We will present about instructional media and authentic assessment of English for young learners. The first one is definition of instructional media of English for young learners. We know that media is one of the important things in teaching and learning process, and it can become a facilitator which has immense potential as an instructional tool. It will make the teaching and learning process better and effective. And when the teacher using the right media in their class, it also can increase the student ability and experience in using the media or the material that given. Here, Sadiman et al. In 1986 defined instructional media as anything used to send information from the senders to the receivers to arouse learners' curiosity and encourage them to learn. On the other hand, Research and Take in 1996 proposed that instructional media may be all the traditional ways to deliver the lesson. Teachers, chalkboards, textbooks, and other printed materials, or the new instructional media such as CD-ROM, computer, interactive video, and multimedia system. Smaldino et al. In 2011 state that media is a mediator or everything which brings all of information from the sources to the learners in order to make communication and study easier. So, instructional media here defined as tools used in educational setting to deliver the materials or information to reach effective teaching learning. Next is types of instructional media of English for young learners. Harmer's classification of instructional media is used as reference of the instructional media types. There are 8 types of instructional media. Those are: the first one is the students themselves. Harmer in 2007 state that the most useful resource in this classroom are the students themselves. Students can do what the teacher asks about in current situation, write and talk about things they like or dislike, what they want to become in the future, or things they have experienced. By using the student himself, teacher can do many things in the classroom. The second is realia. Realia is defined by Noonan in 1999 as objects and teaching props from the world outside the classroom that are used for teaching and learning. We can use stimulus to create a creative activity using realia. And realia can be used as starting point to introduce the lesson or understanding concept of the material. The third is pictures. Teachers have always used picture or graphic. This is to convey message to the student, and the teachers usually also draw pictures on the board to help with explanation and language work. The pictures can be form of flashcards, large wall pictures, cue card, photographs, or illustration. Harmer in 2007 explained that picture can be used for multiple ways comprising drilling, communication, understanding, ornamentation, predicting, and also discussing. The fourth is coursebook. Coursebook is a form of print media. It is a textbook designed for use on a particular course of study. It contains material or verbal information and also can be used as basic instructional guide by the teacher.
So the next is board, referred to blackboard or whiteboard. This is also types of instructional media, and this is also can save the paper. So the next is OHP or overhead projector, are useful for teacher to show many things on overhead transparency. And then there is flip chart. This is media to contain big sheet of paper, mostly using during the discussion. So the next is computer based on technology. This is main by two parts. There are hardware and software. So also this combine audio and visual. This is can attract the student attention. The next is instructional media selection. Instructional media selection is a factor of many factors which success the teaching and learning process. According to Reiser and Dick 1996, there are three major criteria for selecting instructional media. The first is practicality. So second is student appropriateness. So third is instructional appropriateness.
I will explain about definition of authentic assessment of English for young learners and types of authentic assessment of English for young learners. Definition of authentic assessment of English for young learners. According to Amelie and Peirce, authentic assessment in the multiple forms of assessment that reflects students' learning motivation and attitudes on instructionally relevant classroom activities. Particularly in implementing the authentic assessment, teachers should apply some criteria which related to the activities of constructing knowledge, observing, trying new concepts, and students' achievement outside the school. This kind of assessment is highly relevant with the implementation of Curriculum 2013 as its ability to describe the progress of students' performance such as in observing, listening, trying, and networking. The tendency of authentic assessment in the use of contextual and complex tests enables students to show their more authentic competencies. Sunarti and Rahmawati and also lampiran Permendikbud RI tentang standar penilaian pendidikan define authentic assessment as an assessment that is done comprehensively to assess learning input, process, and output. By doing so, the assessment covers all domains of cognitive, affective, and psychomotoric as to consider learners' characteristics and level. In the lower level, affective aspect is loaded more heavily, in contrast to in the high level, cognitive aspect is given more portions. Types of authentic assessment of English for young learners. According to Fewer and Fulton, there are three types of authentic assessment. First is performance assessment. Performance assessment is assessment test that requires students to construct a response, create a product, or demonstrate application of knowledge. It demands students to do something with their knowledge, such as make some things, produce a report, or demonstrate a process. Second is portfolio assessment. Portfolio assessment is a purposeful collection of students' work that is intended to show progress over time. The portfolio may include samples of students' work, usually selected by the students or by the students and the teachers to represent learning based on the instructional objectives. Portfolio assessment can also be defined as a continuous assessment process based on a set of information that show the development of students' competence in a certain period of time. Basically, portfolio assessment assesses students' work individually in a certain time toward certain subjects. At the end of the period, the students submit the work, which will be scored by the teacher. Based on the information of the students' progress, teachers and students themselves do some improvement. As the result, portfolio can indicate the students' progress through their work such as writing letter, composing poem, or designing an advertisement. For the last is project assessment. Project assessment is activities of assessing students' tests which have to be finished within a period of time. The test is in the form of investigation starting from the planning, data gathering, organizing, data analysis, and data presenting. Project assessment can be used to know the students' understanding, their ability in applying, and their ability in informing toward a certain subject.
Okay, now we will jump into the weaknesses and the benefits of authentic assessments. Weaknesses of authentic assessment. Authentic assessment to most teachers dramatically leads to a harder job. It is because applying the authentic assessment is time consuming. Let's take for an example. A teacher who teaches 24 hours per week has to teach 12 classes, each of which consists of 36 students. It will be equal to a 432 student work correction. It doesn't only take time and energy to do, but also there will be threat of evaluator bias. Accordingly, in need of iterators, procedures, and rubric. Aliningsih and Sofan in 2015 states that the teacher's main problem in applying the authentic assessment is that they have large number of students, exhausting, time-consuming activities, and complicated administration. The benefits of authentic assessment. The implementation of authentic assessment promises in the sense that our teaching, learning, and testing of English would most probably be better sooner or later. Authentic assessment also touches a sociocultural standpoint. It offers students the opportunity to learn through engagement, peers, and with the wider community. Well, everybody, that's all about instructional media and authentic assessment of English for young learners. We would like to say sorry for the mistake during the presentation, and we hope that the material presented is understandable enough. Lastly, stay healthy, thank you, and goodbye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.